Joining me now is Congresswoman Karen Bass, Democrat from California, and Corey Dade, contributing editor at The Root. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us on.
Congresswoman, hours from now, about 215,000 people in your home state of California will lose unemployment benefits. What are you hearing from constituents, and what's your response to Republicans failing to act?
Well, first of all, my initial response was to vote no on the budget for exactly that purpose. You know, you're right, over 200,000 people in California, and many of the Republican districts, you know that there are tens of thousands of people that are unemployed, and they put out this position that unemployment checks is a disincentive to work. Now, you tell me how $300 a week could be a disincentive for anything. I think it is very mean-spirited that we would go or begin the year with people being cut off. So I'm certainly going to do everything I can to push when I get back, not only that we extend the unemployment benefits, but we need to address the reason why people are unemployed, which means jobs.
Right. Let me go to you, Corey. You know, the long-term unemployment figures have remained high through the economic recovery. 4.1 million Americans have been without a job for 27 weeks or longer. It's the highest rate of long-term unemployment since World War II.
That's right, Rev. And, you know, when we think about the full unemployment universe, 40% of all the people who are unemployed are in this long-term category. People have been out of work for 6 months or longer. And here's the scariest part about it. There's a study out by the Urban Institute that shows that if you have been without a job 27 weeks or longer, 6 months or longer, you have about a 12% chance of getting a job in any given month. And the longer you go without a job, the harder it is. They're finding that employers are actually discriminating against people who've been out of work that long because they're somehow not employable. So it gets worse from there.
Now, the Urban Institute figure is 12%?
12% chance.
You know, Congresswoman, now when you hear that, Congresswoman Bass, and then you hear the statement by Tea Party Senator Rand Paul, who actually said extending unemployment weakens Americans. Listen to this.
Does it make sense for a country to borrow money from China to give it to the unemployed in America? That is weakening us as a country.
You know,
But the fact is, before you answer, the fact is, I just want to put all this in front of you. You know, aid to unemployed Americans would actually help the economy. I mean, economists say it would create 200,000 jobs next year by boosting consumer demand. Meantime, failing to extend the benefits could cost the country 300,000 jobs. I mean, it is on its face factually incorrect what Senator Paul is saying.
Well, absolutely, because you were talking about money that would be given to people who are unemployed that would go right back into the economy. It's the same logic around food stamps. When people have food stamps, they are putting it back into local economy because they are buying foods, which keeps people employed. But, you know, if you think about the fact that the unemployment has lingered for so long, even though the economy is getting better, can you imagine how the economy could and should be roaring right now if it hadn't have been for so many self-inflicted wounds that Congress has done on the economy? We could have passed the President's Job Act. We could be investing in infrastructure. There's so many things we could be doing right now to address unemployment, but the Congress refuses to act.
You know, there is some that are acting, though, Corey, a progressive group that had planned a campaign, a TV campaign nationally slamming Republicans over unemployment benefits has launched. Look at this.
You know who had a Merry Christmas? The richest 1%. That's who. Republicans in Congress made sure of that, protecting billions in taxpayer giveaways. And for those facing tough times, Republicans stripped 1.3 million Americans of jobless benefits, folks who want to work but cannot find a job.
Could this, Corey, have an impact on some of these congressmen to move quickly when they come back, because now their voters in a midterm election will be seeing ads like this?
Rev, yeah, this is where it does hit home. This kind of messaging can help in those districts where you have swing districts, where you have vulnerable Republicans. Take New Jersey, for example, the land of Chris Christie. As a share of its population, New Jersey is going to get hit the worst by this. There are 90,000 people who are going to lose those checks. That is 1% of the population of New Jersey. That has real political power.
Now, Congresswoman, if you look at the big picture, Americans are with the president, and they're with him on unemployment insurance and other progressive economic issues.
Minimum wage?
Right, minimum wage. 55% support extending jobless benefits. 69% support him with the minimum wage. 57% say the government should take action to reduce the income gap. So when Corey talks about states like New Jersey, Chris Christie state, who's being touted as a potential candidate in 16 and who has congressional races in the midterm elections next year, when we look at that and look at the polling of how most Americans are with the president on progressive issues, when the rubber meets the road, we may be able to drive the car somewhere.
And let me tell you, we have to drive the car somewhere. I mean, I think our responsibility, and you do it so well every day, Rev, our responsibility is to get that information out there. If we could organize the unemployed in Republican districts and get them out to vote, I think we could bring about the change we need, which is new leadership in the House of Representatives.
Thank you, Congresswoman Karen Bass and Corey Dade. Thank you both for your time tonight. And have a happy and productive new year.
Same to you, Rev.